beautiful.
Yeah.
Sunrise is
Boy, did
coming
we
up.
have some people enjoying the lifts yesterday.
Parked down to the rack, up Mountainside Road, up West Mountain Road.
Holy cow.
And from what I heard, I was out in West Mountain doing some flagging, but I heard the lifts handled it well. The flow,
Yeah.
the mountain was open out east, so I think that's great.
Everything was the way it was supposed to be yesterday.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lift team, they did well, and the mechanics and electricians, they did have some issues, and they handled it well, worked together as a team, and kept them going. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Was
Please do. Yeah, we'd love to have some insight.
yeah, at Super Quad yesterday, there was a tower fault. That's when one of the safety circuits fails. So what we call it is a down and loaded. The lift will not restart, and it's loaded with guests. So that goes out to patrol, and it goes out to the lift department. And when that happens, the mechanics and electricians head to the tower. That was Tower 17 yesterday, and ended up being a faulty electrical component. And that's what these look like. I brought it in for show and tell. This is a brake fork. It's like a light switch in your house, but if the cable rides here, and if it falls off, it lands on top of this and breaks it, and that shuts the lift off. This right here is a magnetic proximity switch, and the cable lives right above it.
Sure.
And if the cable moves just a little bit, it turns this switch off, which then shuts the lift off. And this is for a detachable or a fast lift, like Whiffletree, Super Quad. You have to have these. You have to have both to run at that speed.
Yeah.
All the rest of the lifts just have this brake fork that looks like this.
Because it's so fast.
Yeah, and Skyline. Actually, Skyline, when that was built in 2011, Sugarloaf added these proximity switches. It can't run as fast as a detachable lift, but they did that because it runs in such high winds.
Right.
Yeah. So what the mechanics and electricians had to do is they went up there and they removed this bracket, put it in their lap, lift kept running. They replaced this proximity switch and then reinstalled it.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's what happens, and then all this wiring goes into this boot. This is a communication aerial enclosure. You can see them on the side of the road for telephone wires, fiber optics, but that black cable that runs up in between the towers,
Yeah.
the wires from these brake forks and proximity switches, they land right in here into the circuit board. And then that gets connected to the bottom of the lift where the drive is, and that's what tells the lift to turn off when there's an issue.
So it's not like someone kicked the rope down there at the bottom, because it potentially can happen, but automatically shuts it down.
It does. It's like a light switch. You have to have electricity going through these systems, and it fails when the electricity is gone.
That's a great safety feature.
Yeah, it's just the stop button is the same way. It is a great safety feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you actually built on, even though it wasn't required, that was an additional piece that you put on for Skyline.
Just for Skyline.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Required on Super Quad and detachable. Super Quad and Whiffletree. Bucksaw Express will actually have a more modern system. Bucksaw Express is going to have fiber optic cables running up it, which is going to be great for bullwinkles because we're going to run fiber optic now up to bullwinkles, and then that'll help that POS system, the purchasing system, act faster.
So it's going to have a couple of good features built in.
Oh, this lift is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I can tell you're excited about that.
I am, but-
Tell us about that. Tell us about that lift.
Well, it's a Doppelmayr. It's a four place. There's no bubble on it. We think that the bubbles are wonderful, but we run the risk of them causing issues here at Sugarloaf with how windy it is.
Right.
So
A sail.
Yeah, it could be a sail. That's right. And plus, I mean, let's face it, Sugarloafers are tough, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, it's 140 chairs, so it's just about 6,800, just slightly larger than Super Quad. The trail system is going to be focused more on intermediate terrain and beginner terrain. I say beginner, but it's green and blue. We're actually taking the horseshoe trail right now, and after that's cut, it's going to be blasted and lowered so that the pitch isn't as steep. Because the green and blue it's all relative to the mountain that you're at. Greens here tend to be a little steeper than most greens, and I think Horseshoe is labeled as a green right now, but we're going to try to make it an easier green by blasting that rock and dropping it 20 feet at the top and then bulldozing it around the corner.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. Great plan. When will that take place?
Should start in May, June, the blasting.
Yeah.
It's got a great group of people. Bob Carlton, the forester, and Aaron Adams owns GCA Logging. They're the ones taking all the trees down. And
Well, they're going to join us on the program this morning, and we're going to get some insight.
That's unfortunate for you.
I've met him before.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Well, that's great. So this is something that has a lot of research has gone into this, a lot of work. What are some of the other maintenance items that you and the crew are?
This was one of the biggest ones. Since 2015, I think we've replaced over 8 communication cables. We replaced them. Almost all the lifts have this orange wire, which is more durable. This was becoming brittle over time. They all have, most of them have this red insulating holder. This is straight from Doppelmayr. So full electrical upgrade since 2015 on most of the lifts. That was a big issue when I got here in 2015 that Carl and Crush kind of set out as something that we wanted to take care of. False indications is what we call them.
Right. And you came here in 2015. What? Tell us about what your experiences prior to that.
Well, I'm a golf course superintendent by trade.
Yeah.
That's what I went to university for, and I started as a golf course superintendent back in Harbor Springs, Michigan, at Boyne Highlands in 2000. And during the winter, I was a snowmaker, ski patroller, drove a snowcat, and got into the lifts. And then I went to Sunday River in 2008 as the VP of Mountain Operations for 5 years.
Right.
And then I moved out to Seattle to be the director of operations there at Summit at Snoqualmie, is another Boyne ski area. That was for about 3 years, and we had our daughter, and then we moved back here in 2015.
And you're living the dream now.
I am living the dream now.
You love it here, don't you?
I do. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Maine
it's
is gorgeous. I think there's so many people that are moving away, and I think now they're realizing how beautiful Maine is and coming back.
Oh, people always come back. They leave, but they always come back. Well, we're very fortunate to have you, and thank you for sharing some of these safety features with us. We'd love to have you on.
I hope it helps the audience.
And from time to time, and just keep us updated as to what's going on and how hard you guys work, you and the crew as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and if anybody out there has any questions, shoot them this way, and maybe you or Nadine,
Absolutely,
Andy can send them to me, and the next time I'm on, I can address them.
That sounds great. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.